So I'd love to bring our next author to the stage. That author is Michelle Smith, whose book is called Always With Me, The Guide to Grieving Death Through Integrative Medicine. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi.
So tell us about this book. How did you come to write Always With Me?
I've been working for the last 10 years with patients and family members at a hospital in Pennsylvania, and I just realized how difficult it is to deal with the reality of losing a loved one. And I also know that personally in my own life and working with these patients. And so I wanted to write a book to help them find happiness and connection once again.
Awesome. So what inspired you to write it?
I was inspired to write this book. I was working with a patient, and within 1 month, she lost her husband to colon cancer, and she was dealing with her own breast cancer diagnosis. So I actually wrote the book as a love letter to her.
Wow. Okay. What would you say was the biggest obstacle that you faced, and how did you overcome it?
I think the biggest obstacle was feeling like could always be pulled in a ton of directions. There was always something that came up that I could choose to focus on other than the book. And that's why being in the author incubator was so helpful, because I was being held accountable. It was with a group of other authors. We had weekly calls, and they would always bring me back to this project and encourage me to see it as the priority that it needed to be.
Cool. So how long did it actually take you to complete the writing process?
The book was written in 9 weeks, and then there was a period of editing, working with my editor. So, changes were made at that time, but basically I would say that the majority of it was done within 9 weeks.
Wow. And how much time did you spend writing each of the chapters? I know lots of our audience members want to know that. We got a question a bit earlier. Curious to know, how much time do you spend in one sitting to actually write?
I think that depends on who you are. Like, I'm definitely a plotter, so I will, work progressively. I think some people sit down and write a book in like 2 days. I would never be able to do that, but for me, I would dedicate 2 hours a day, 1 or 2 hours a day to this project, and was able to get it done.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I was for sure a burster. So I wrote a lot in a little bit of time, and I actually spoke my book into my iPhone. So I talked pretty much the whole thing. So yeah, different strokes for everybody, but no matter what, when you have that focus, that accountability, and the drive to actually make that difference, you're gonna figure out a way to make it happen.
Yep.
So we have another question from you. It looks like Letitia from Florida. How did you get the courage to actually start?
2018 was a really difficult year for me personally. Just a lot of stuff medically happened, and in a relationship that I was in. And I think going through those challenges made me realize that it's so important to take advantage of opportunities that come up and just start living life now and not putting it off and thinking, oh, I'll do it down the road. The future is never guaranteed, and I think there's no better time than to do it than right now.
No better time than now. So if you know that you want to write a book, start now. Don't wait. It's not going to come out unless you actually show up to do it. So what better time to do that than now, right? Awesome. That's Always With Me by Michelle A. Smith. Congratulations,
Thank
Michelle.
you.